Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've had a fantastic festive season if you are celebrating Christmas. And if you aren't, I hope you have still had a great week so far. So if you want to find out why you should be joining Some World in 2024, then please stay tuned and I will go through some of the key facts that you need to know about. So, of course, with all different weight loss strategies and programs, everyone has a different goal overall. And that is why we all choose and work on different aspects of our lifestyle to enable us to become healthier and happier within ourselves. Now, with regards to my own journey, I joined Summer World on the 25th of May 2023. And today I have lost just shy of 4.5 stone. Now, I have made huge lifestyle changes to my day-to-day aspects of my life, but it hasn't just affected me, it has also affected my family in a much more positive light as well. And that is why I'm here today to tell you about some of the positive aspects of what I've been able to achieve so far and why some of these positive changes may be relatable to what you want to achieve going forward into 2024. So if you are enjoying my content and you are enjoying what I'm trying to get across today, then I would really appreciate if you're not already a subscriber, if you wouldn't mind subscribing. Subscribing really does help the channel grow significantly, and without my subscribers, this channel just wouldn't be what it is today. So a massive thank you to all of you so far who have chosen to subscribe. And if you want to, if you could just like the video and leave any comments below or share this video with any of your family or friends who may be interested, then I would be really, really grateful for that level of support as well. So what we'll do today is we'll just run over five sort of simple sort of outcomes, if you like, of joining Summer World. And I think, I'm hoping anyway, that I will be able to relate some of them to my own journey to give you a little bit more of an insight into where I'm at and how far I've come along over the last sort of 6 months or so. So one of the main things I find really encouraging with Summer World is that there is so much flexibility. So flexibility is really important to remain engaged with a weight loss plan. It's really important so you don't get bored, and it's really important so that you don't feel that you're being restricted on a day-to-day basis. Because of course, for longevity and success, we need variety. So variety is a spice of life, and if we don't have variety, especially within our diets, we are setting ourselves up for a fail big time. So what I really enjoy about Some World is that you can have a little bit of everything that you want, and most of the time you don't have to worry too much about it. So you can have all of your proteins, your eggs. They're all free foods. They're protein foods. You can also have your vegetables and fruit. Some fruit is higher in sugars, of course, if you do bake it or if you cook it. So you have to be mindful of that. But whole fruits and whole vegetables are extremely nutritious, of course. They're full of lots of vitamins and nutrients, but they are, of course, sin-free and they are speed foods on Summer World as well. Berries, etc., as well, are also a speed food on Summer World, as well as most vegetables. Some vegetables are free, so they're not a speed food. And what I mean by a speed food is where they are very low calorie density, but they do give you a lot of nutrition and a lot of filling power as well. So it does keep you more satisfied for longer. So Slimming World do recommend that you fill up at least a third of your plate where it makes sense, of course, where you can have fruit and vegetables with your main meal. So sometimes it may be having a smaller portion of your main meal and maybe having some fruit as a sort of dessert or a snack following on from that meal, or you may want to load up on your lettuce if you're wanting to have a salad, or you're wanting to bulk up your meal with lots of vegetables within the meal itself, such as a really nutritious pasta bake with lots of different vegetables in there, or a soup, for example, or a chili. There are so many different ways to cook healthily on Slimming World. One of the main things that I have always followed through on Slimming World, whilst I've been following it and when I've not been following it, unfortunately, in the past, is that I have always made a conscious effort to use a low calorie cooking spray oil. So that will save yourself literally hundreds of calories a day if you just make that one simple swap. So that is something to consider. You do also have to consider the things that we need to be a little bit more mindful of on a day to day, such as crisps, sweets, candies, chocolates, etc. And these are part of your sin allowance. So sins can be a little bit of a negative word as such, but it does stand for synergy. But in my head, I like to just think of it as like points, or if I'm trying to explain it to someone who doesn't follow Summer World, you're allowed a certain amount of sins, but points per day. And basically, the whole reason behind that is to ensure that you don't overeat. You can still have some of what you want, and it gives you that flexibility to make your own decisions about what you want to eat and maybe what you want to reserve for later on if you want to have a really nice meal or maybe a snack or an alcoholic drink. It is about moderation, and that is what is really key to this diet plan. As I said, it's very there are certain things within the plan that make it Slimming World, which is, of course, your sins, as we just mentioned. And we also have healthy extras. So, your healthy extras are related to ensuring that you get the right amount of calcium. So, you have a healthy extra A choice. So, you can have two healthy extra A choices in a day, which I usually use on milk. Or cheese, depending on what I'm using within the day, with what I'm eating, or I might just not have it at all, but I wouldn't just have it for the sake of having it. Again, it's about moderation. It's about making your meals make sense for you and not just eating mindlessly. Because I think if you do have a weight issue, eating mindlessly is often the reason why we are overweight at the end of the day, and we're not holding ourselves accountable to that. The other healthy extra choice on Summer World is a healthy extra B choice, and that is related to ensuring that you have enough fibre in your diet as well. And fibre is really important for keeping you feeling full for longer. It also helps increase bowel motility and mobility, and it ensures that you are passing regular bowel movements, which is really, really important when you are following a healthier eating plan. Not to mention, we should be going to the bathroom to go for a poo more regularly than most people probably do already. And that is the whole point of increasing your fibre intake. Of course, if we are eating more leafy greens, vegetables, all these other things, then we should be going to the toilet more regularly. But of course, I think people can get a bit embarrassed about talking about bowel habits, bowel movements, but certainly for me, it's part of life and we all need to go. So going regularly is really important. It's also really important to look out for changes to your bowel movements that you may not find normal for you, that you may be concerned about. So please do seek medical advice if you find that your bowel habits have changed, and they aren't resolving. It's giving you some concern as well. So it's a very structured plan, Some World, and there are different ways that you can do it. So you can follow the sort of food optimizing plan, which is what I've just reiterated to yourselves, or you can follow the SP plan. So the SP plan is speed and protein. So you only eat speed and protein foods. Basically, the majority of that would be um, eggs, vegetables, and probably very low calorie, sort of like berries and things like that. Bananas, on the other hand, are a free food, so you couldn't have a banana on an SP day, but you could have an orange, you could have an apple, you could have strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, etc. So there are lots of different, variations to what you can have to mix it up a bit. And because we are talking about the speed aspect of the diet, the speed would need to come from your vegetables. So, for example, if you were having like a soup, it would be just full of, speed vegetables. So maybe like carrots, onion, butternut squash. You could have any of these soups. You could also make up a soup with chicken in it, for example, for using up some of your protein, getting extra protein in your diet, So there are lots of things there that you can make. A firm favourite of mine is cauliflower soup, which I know might not sound very interesting to some of you at home, but it's very low calorie, it tastes excellent, and a little bit of garlic in there with some herbs really does go a long way. And it is one of my favourite soups to make at home on the SP plan. What you can also have, of course, is your meats and your eggs. So you could have some omelettes, and they are, of course, very filling as well. So hopefully that will just give you a little bit of an overview of what Summer World is all about. Now, of course, the SP plan is not recommended to be followed for a long period of time. It is often recommended if you maybe have a little bit of a weight loss plateau, or you may have a bit of a you may have had a bit of a rough time of it with regards to your weight losses. You might have been a bit unstable in your eating. You might have had some holidays. You might have had some sort of rough days where we do all go off of plan a little bit. And so this plan is there to help supplement the fundamentals of what Slimming World is there to do, and that is to ensure that you have a balanced but sort of in moderation lifestyle with regards to your food choices. Now, there is a lot of support available from Summer World itself. So they have frequently asked questions. They have a sort of it's I would call it like a handbook. So it basically tells you how to follow the plan, what you should be doing, how to go right back to basics again. And the most favourite thing for me out of the whole Summer World journey so far is the app. So I have an iPhone, so you can download it on Android and iOS systems. It's really reliable. The scanner on it is very similar to a MyFitnessPal style scanner. So you can scan barcodes with your phone whilst you're at home in the shops. And if you're wanting to just double check the SIN value of something, you can just type it in as well if you maybe can't get a barcode to work. So it's really good. If the barcode doesn't come up with a result, there is also an estimations calculator on the app as well. So you can generally work out round about how many sins you're having, if you're having any. And if you can't get the answer to what you're looking for, head office are fantastic. And I have used them a few times myself to get the answer that I really want. So they do get back to you pretty quickly too. Now, of course, you can join online or you can join a class, which is usually in something like a church hall or maybe a social club. And of course, the consultant is there. The consultant will welcome you into class for the first time and they will go through everything with you. They will be your go-to person for the first couple of weeks, to get yourselves through the first few weeks and until you learn a little bit about yourself. It's all about learning about you and how you feel about food and what your triggers are and what your backup plan is when things maybe just don't go quite to plan. But then at the same time as well, you also have access to your consultant. I would say not any time of the day. Of course, people do need a break and they do need sleep. But your consultant might let you know that they're available between the hours of like 9 till 8 or something like that. I don't know. But at the end of the day, they will always get back to you if you text them or WhatsApp them or call them, give them a ring. I haven't personally had to do that very much because I have done Summer World in the past, but I do know friends and colleagues who have used a consultant more than myself, and they have had really, really good support. So that's always there for you as well. Of course, you have Facebook groups. You generally your consultant will have a Facebook group online, and that will be for their Summer World group basically. So if you have a Summer World group in say, I don't know, Northwest London, and you sort of have that patch of Summer World classes, then you will have a group on Summer World Facebook for Summer World that all of your clients will be able to contact you on. So that is how it works. The Summer World consultants are not medically trained. They are, they are trained. They do go to courses and they have got qualifications. They are also very helpful and mostly very knowledgeable about things that you might have a problem with, you might want to ask. And certainly in my experience, if they don't know, they'll go away and find out and they'll come back to you because at the end of the day, that is their job and they invest a lot into their business. So it's really important, it's imperative to them to get it right and to make sure that you're on the right track. Now, of course, there are other support networks like YouTube, like I'm doing right now, where people can get ideas, people can support one another, and you guys at home definitely do support me and you give me the accountability to come on here and to tell you more about how I'm getting on. And of course, speaking about why I joined Summer World and why I think it's beneficial is really, really important. I started off over 21 stone just 6 months ago and I'm currently sitting at about just over 16 and a half stone just now. So I really have come in a long way. And I know that all of you guys at home who may be considering joining Summer World are more than able. You are definitely competent. You are able to do it. And if you want to do it, then please do it. I joined Summer World on a night where I was adamant I was joining that day. And I genuinely am so grateful to myself for the push that I gave myself to join that group on that day because I was in the right mindset to join it. And I, to be honest, don't know if I would be here right now doing this video for you guys if I didn't join when I wanted to join. And so you've got to go with your gut instinct. Of course, friendship's a massive thing. Lots of people make great relationships and friendships from group at Slimming World groups or online, or of course forums, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. You know, there is so much love and sharing going on with regards to people's fitness and weight loss journeys, not just related to Slimming World, but throughout the whole, I suppose, the whole plethora of different platforms that people use to document their journeys. Everyone is there and everyone is around you to support you because they are on or have been on the same journey as you're on right now. And I think there's a real feel good factor knowing that you're not on your own and you do have the right support around you. Sometimes you just need to ask and put your hand out for that support at times. Certainly from my perspective, if any of you are watching at home and you would like any advice or help or support, obviously I'm not a Slimming World consultant, but I do know Slimming World Plan very, very well, and I have had excellent results. So if I can help any of you guys at home, then please feel free to leave a comment, or if you would rather message me on TikTok, or you can message me on Instagram, or you can email me. All of the details are on my YouTube profile as well. And I would say, really, the positive lifestyle change is phenomenal. So earlier on this year, I wouldn't and couldn't walk very far. I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't bend over to tie my own shoelaces. Putting my socks on was really difficult. I couldn't have a bath. I couldn't, if I got in the bath, I couldn't get out the bath. I got stuck in the bath one night, and that was really, really soul destroying. It was absolutely demoralizing. And that was just a few months ago. You know, really at the end of the day, it was about maybe 2 weeks before I joined Slimming World. And at that point, that was where I genuinely felt enough is enough. And I had to do something about it. Now, I know many of you at home will be in a similar position. You will be feeling probably a little bit, you know, down in the dumps, maybe a little bit guilty about overeating over the Christmas and festive period. But you know what? We're here to enjoy ourselves. I don't think anyone should be feeling guilty. All you should be focusing upon now is making good choices and good changes for the longer term. We're not perfect, we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all have things that go on in our lives, and we all have reasons for dealing with things in a certain way, i.e., using food as a crutch or a coping mechanism or whatever you want to call it. It's a trigger for some people, and for some, it is also a support. And a support that we unfortunately do need to change our mindset on a wee bit. But the difference in my physical health and mental health has been significant throughout the last few months. I was so low before, I was really, really low at times that the slightest thing would make me cry, genuinely would make me cry. I had no energy, all I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't really have much of a life, I felt, to be honest. I mean, I held down a full-time job and, you know, I'm a stepmom, I'm a wife, you know, I've got friends, I've got networks, I've got lots of things that I need to do. But I genuinely felt like I was just floating through life, just getting by. Whereas now I feel engaged. I feel like I'm able to stay up later. I can generally stay up till like midnight, if not a bit later now on a work night, or a school night, whatever you want to call it. Whereas before I would genuinely struggle to stay awake past like 9, 10 o'clock, clearly because my body was so tired from carrying this massive weight around with me all day that by that time of night I was done. I was also having a lot of swelling in my lower ankles and feet just because my circulation was obviously maxed out. My heart was going 10 to the dozen, which is not a good thing to do. And I now can enjoy doing everything that I want to do without my weight restricting me. And my weight, honestly, has not restricted me doing anything in the last, I would say, 3 months, maybe 4 months. I've had no back pain, I've had no hip pain, I've had no knee pain, ankle pain, you name it, I haven't had it. And I used to have it before. I also used to have a daily headache as well, every day about 2, 3 o'clock. And I would just reach for the chocolate or reach for the cola or reach for the crisps or whatever it was. And now I don't do that because I don't have a headache. Go figure. I'm eating better, I'm eating more nutritious food, and I'm eating more balanced food throughout the full day rather than gorging on things in one, you know, one sort of sitting and another sitting and another sitting. My body's got much more time to digest that food, you know, in a much more effective way. And it's making me feel like my energy levels are not sort of dipping too much. They're much more stable over the course of the day as well. And that obviously impacts upon how I feel and my morale and my mood because I'm not run down with tiredness and just reaching for the closest thing, which is often food. And health and well-being. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I have lost around about 4.5 stone now. I don't have my 4.5 stone certificate, but it's coming very, very soon, fingers crossed. Even with the festive periods and the New Year sort of period coming up soon, I have made a conscious effort to enjoy it and to have some things of what I want and what I enjoy. And if my weight does go up a little bit, then we have to be mindful that we've had a great time, we've enjoyed it, but then we have to draw a line under it, which is what I've done this week. I've been fully back on plan again, and I feel much better than I did the other day. I soon realised that eating food that I want and I like in my head isn't always what my body wants and needs. Um, the other day, I quickly felt quite low and quite emotional, and I genuinely do think it's from the food that I was eating that I just used to gorge upon, and I just haven't done that for such a long time. So the mental health aspect of it is huge. I cannot underestimate how much of a positive impact it's had upon me as a person and myself as a friend, as a wife, as a stepmom, as a colleague, as a manager. All of these things have had such a massive impact upon me and others. But what I will say is that it's not just about weight. We can all gain weight, we can all lose weight when we want to, if we need to. There are things that, go on in people's lives, and I get that. I've been there. I've done dieting for the last 20 years and I have lost and gained, lost and gained, lost and gained. But I'm now at a point where I feel that this change is sustainable. I've now joined a gym because I am at a light enough weight. No, 16.5 stone is still heavy, but I'm at a light enough weight that I am actually fit enough to go on a piece of gym equipment. I can cycle, I can go on a cross trainer, I can go on the treadmill, and I enjoy it and I get a lot out of it. Whereas before, it would have been absolutely impossible and it would have been absolute torture, to be honest. I would have been in pain within a minute. So, as I said, it's not just about weight, it's about our cardiovascular health, it's about what's going on inside that we can't see. But all I know for a fact is that my fat percentage has gone down significantly, my body shape has changed significantly, and I feel light. I feel fit, I feel healthy. And what I will say is this top I wore at my first ever weigh-in and it was skin tight. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is how big this top is for me now. It is pretty big. But yeah, these are the things that make the difference. And only you can sign up to Summer World or any other plan if you feel that you're in the right mindset to do so. Mental health is something that we cannot ignore and that we should not ignore. And if we do need professional help and professional advice, then I would advise that you do get that. But if you feel that you are in a place where you can take on board new information and you are keen to look at a structured plan such as Slim World, and you are keen to look wider and broader than what you've ever done before, then I would strongly recommend that you do consider joining Slim World. And as I said before, if I can help any of you at home, then please do feel free to leave me a comment, ask me any questions. I would always aim to get back to you as soon as I can. And I am incredibly grateful for all of the support, the tips, the hints, and the advice that every single one of you at home have given me so far that has helped me remain accountable. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I may see you in 2024 following on with your Summer World journey. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye.